There are so many great books that you can read from thousands of authors, but you can only read one at a time. With so many choices for your next book to read, how can you possibly know which one to read? Well, look no further, for I have an amazing book written by a witty and thoughtful author that you definitely should read. Without further ado, here are my top 10 reasons why you should read All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Reason 10. The book follows not one, not two, but 3 different characters with their own respective stories, skillfully intertwined throughout the whole book. You get to behold as Werner and his sister Jutta grow up together as Marie-Laure does the same with her father, and Sergeant Van Rumpel captures Saint Malo. Reason 9. The book is set in France and Germany during World War II, so all throughout the story you can learn about different aspects of life during the war, as well as being immersed in the experience and feeling of living during such a time. Reason 8. All the Light We Cannot See won a Pulitzer Prize and a Goodreads Choice Awards for being the best historical fiction. I have to agree that as a historical fiction, it does justice to the time in which it was to exist down to the date at which Germany captured Saint Malo, while still staying true to the narrative woven by Doerr. Reason 7. Anthony Doerr loves to leave chapters on cliffhangers right before turning points in the plot, or just as suspense seems to have climaxed, which keeps the pages turning by themselves. Reason 6. Not only is the flow of the story invested in each of the 3 characters, it also tends to jump place in time through the broad scope of the story to reveal little pieces of information and plot that keep the reader interested in the future of the story, to discover how these future sites fit together into the larger puzzle of the story. Reason 5. The theme of the book reflects an inspiring message, which is that regardless of background or upbringing, each person has control over their destiny. This is shown through Werner's change of heart as he realizes that he is not supporting the cause he thought he was, and through how Marie-Laure was able to endure war to spend the rest of her life as a biologist doing what she loved. Reason 4. Throughout the entire book, both of the main characters grow and change drastically. Werner, the German boy brought up through an elite Hitler Youth military camp to become a specialist in hunting down and silencing rebellious or traitorous radio broadcasts, comes to learn of the pain he and the war is causing him to change faith in whether the German endeavor could ever be considered moral or ethical. Marie-Laure, a French girl raised in France, goes blind several years prior to World War II. Without giving any spoilers, the story follows her endeavor to survive through troubling times while becoming stronger as a person. Reason 3. The entire book took a decade to go from an idea to a published novel, but the most interesting part of the process was revealed in an interview of Anthony Doerr. His inspiration for the main plot of the narrative came to him when he was on the train going through a tunnel and someone else on the train was complaining that their cell phone wasn't getting any signal. Doerr found the concept that not long ago the use of electromagnetic radiation to transmit information didn't exist. This led him to centering the story around radios. His findings of inspiration in such nuanced things is evidence of how unique he is as a writer and how thoughtful he can be. Reason 2. The book has a format that is both unique and pleasing. He uses short mini-chapters ranging from around 1 to 2 pages each, which are organized into 13 larger chapters. The greatest benefit of having many short chapters is that with so much of the book being filled with chapter titles and the empty parts of pages at the end of a chapter, it always feels like you're breezing through the book. There is nothing more satisfying than seeing the text end in the middle of the page or higher, signifying to you that another delightful chapter has been conquered. If you read this book, you too will feel this feeling over 100 times throughout the entirety of the book. Finally, my greatest reason for you to read All the Light That We Cannot See. Anthony Doerr is an excellent wordsmith who never misses a chance to insert insightful commentary on life while he waxes eloquent with the ability to paint metaphors and beautiful descriptions all across the countless detail-rich pages of his book. This man has a graceful way with words, which heightens the enjoyment of the book as the words captivate and entrance you in the story. To end my presentation, I offer you a few of my favorite quotes from this book. What are words but sounds these men shape out of breath? Weightless vapors they send into the air of the kitchen to dissipate and die. To shut your eyes is to guess nothing of blindness. Beneath your world of skies and faces and buildings exists a rawer and older world. A place where surface planes disintegrate and sounds ribbon and shoals through the air. When I lost my sight, Werner, people said I was brave. When my father left, people said I was brave. But it is not bravery. I have no choice. I wake up and live my life. Don't you do the same? We all come into existence as a single cell, smaller than a speck of dust, much smaller. Divide, multiply, add, and subtract. Matter changes hands. Atoms flow in and out. Molecules pivot. Proteins stitch together. Mitochondria send out their oxidative dictates. We begin as a microscopic electrical swarm. The lungs, the brain, the heart. 40 weeks later, 6 trillion cells get crushed into the vise of our mother's birth canal, and we howl. Then the world starts in on us. His voice is low and soft, a piece of silk you might keep in the drawer and pull out only on rare occasions, just to feel it between your fingers.